Nick Willis is without a doubt a member of our New Zealand middle distance elite. He's been to Olympic Games to run the 1500 metres in Athens, Beijing, London, Rio and now Tokyo. He didn't make the final this time. The high point though for him was no doubt the silver medal he won in Beijing in 2008.
Nick Willis, still no move from the big New Zealander. 100 metres to go. It's Rashid Ramsey, Kiprop. Now comes Willis. He's got himself clear. Can he get a medal? Nick Willis coming with a big finish. He's got himself into third place. He's got to stay there. Has he got anything left? 1, 2, and yes, he gets the bronze medal. A superbly timed run from Nick Willis. He never panicked at any stage.
So Nick Willis crossing the line third there in 2008. And as we know, one of those ahead of him, can't recall which one, but one of them was later disqualified for the use of illegal drugs, promoting Nick Willis to silver medalist in 2008. He also won a bronze in Rio in the 1500 metres in 2016. Let's not forget also he won Commonwealth Games gold in 2006, bronze in 2010 and again in 2014. He holds the New Zealand 1500 and 3000 metre records, and earlier this year he ran a sub 4-minute mile for the 19th consecutive year. Incredible. An absolutely sensational career. Nick Willis is with us. Nick, thank you for joining us. Congratulations on what you've achieved in the years I've just outlined. If you go back to 2003, could the 20-year-old Nick Willis have ever imagined attending 5 Olympic Games?
No, absolutely not. I always thought that people, their bodies broke down in late 20s, their knees were all done with, and their Achilles were shot. So no, I'm very, very blessed to still be standing, feeling strong, and I'm not quite as fast as I used to be, but I can still hang with the young bucks every now and then.
You showed that over the experience in Tokyo. How do you reflect back on the last week or so in Tokyo?
Yeah, it's obviously my main focus has been trying to get back into the right mindset to race and stay focused as I have always been. But it's always also been a fun time for reflection. I got a little emotional as I started packing my bag and getting my singlet ready right before I went to the stadium before the semi-final, as I realized this potentially could be my last ever Olympic race. And in a good way, it was really cool, and I felt really privileged that I was about to go to battle one last time, you know.
Did that emotion surprise you in any way? Did you know, did you think, weeks, months ago that kind of emotion might hit you at a time like that?
No, it was unexpected. It was in a good way. I've sort of been suppressing all of my sort of energy and thoughts just so you can stay even keel, so to speak. But I realized that I wasn't nervous at all, and I needed to start getting excited for the race because you need to summon any endorphins or adrenaline as you can get. So I allowed myself to sort of be a little bit more vulnerable. It was a good sort of way to launch into getting on the bus and heading to the track, and gave me a lot of energy going into my warm-up.
How much did COVID affect the processes and procedures around the event itself?
Once in the village, it really hasn't felt any different than any other Olympic village that I've experienced, other than having to wear a mask and spitting into a little vial every morning before 8 a.m. to get your daily saliva test. But other than wearing masks, it really doesn't feel like any other village. Obviously, the biggest disappointment is not having fans in the crowd. There's not the electric buzz in the stadium. It's such an impressive stadium, the Tokyo Olympic Track and Field Stadium. It's a shame that other athletes didn't get a chance to experience the incredible arena that is running in front of fans from all over the world and all that sort of stuff. But I guess for me personally, in some ways, I selfishly liked it because there wasn't quite the same intensity or pressure. I was able to just focus on getting the job done, and I didn't really feel any nerves at all. So there was a benefit to that as well. But as a spectator, I think it's much better watching on TV than being in the stands. The few of us who have accreditation to get into the stadium, it sort of misses that excitement inside the arena.
I bet. And as far as when you were being marshalled before the race and things like that in a holding room, I think I've heard you mention before that often there can be some real psychology that's wrapped around that. Was that the same? There was no difference there?
I wonder whether it was because of COVID or whether they've finally clued up, but the call room was much shorter than traditionally at major championships. Normally they make us go through the call room procedures about 50 minutes before the race starts. This time it was only 25 minutes before, so there wasn't really any time for any like gamesmanship or any like psychology warfare. It was just pretty much get in there, get shuttled through to the different sections, get your bib number, they check your spikes, and then you're out on the track. So it was a very rushed procedure, and perhaps I hadn't thought about it, but perhaps it was because of COVID they didn't want us indoors for too long. But I think it helped our performance a lot more because that's more conducive to keeping your body ready to race well.
Everyone I know is keen to know what's next for you. I don't expect you to announce any sort of decision, but are you willing to tell us what factors you'll consider when you go about making a decision about what's next for you?
Oh, if you're sort of bringing up retirement, yeah, I actually have no plans to ever retire, if that's so to speak. I called up Drug Free Sport the other month asking like what the procedure is, like how much longer am I going to have to like keep notifying the whereabouts where I'm going to sleep every single day of the year. Like my worry is that as I get older and slower, I'm going to be less diligent about keeping that calendar up to date. You know, I'm worried about getting to my kids' soccer games and stuff. But the thing is, like, if you don't officially announce a retirement, you do have to keep doing that as long as they want you to. And I guess that's something I'm going to have to be willing to do because I still want to be able to jump into races every now and then. I don't want to have it be my primary focus. But I don't plan on like completely stepping aside, and it's something I love doing. And what I have committed to is my training partners in Michigan who have helped me so much the last few years. I'm committed to training with them and for them as they prepare for the next Olympics in 3 years' time. So whether that keeps me motivated to race, I have no idea, but I'm excited to train and hang out. It's my social outlet away from the stresses of work and family life and all that sort of stuff. So I'm looking forward to continuing to run hard to help others.
Terrific. And competitively then, if you're not entirely ruling that out, is a move to a different distance an option, Nick? The 5,000, the 10,000, the marathon even?
I don't think the 5K or 10K is really a realistic thing for me. Those hurt so much. The beauty of the mile or the 1,500 meters is if you have the perfect race, it doesn't hurt at all. Like, people say, man, you ran so well at the Olympics. I'm like, yeah, the truth is, though, that was the easiest race I've had all year. Like, because it was my best race, it didn't hurt. I couldn't go any faster, but, like, everything lined up. But no matter how well you run in a 5K or a 10K, it hurts like anything, and I'm a bit of a wimp. I don't like suffering. But I am intrigued by the marathon. Like, sure, that is intriguing, like, the idea of it. But then it requires so much training, like, whether I have the ability to, like, have my family sacrifice for the sake of me trying something different. Let's face it, it's not me who has to make the sacrifices. It's my wife and kids if I commit to something, and I'm not sure if that's something I'm willing to make them do.
I loved your tweet from yesterday. What do you do after your final Olympic race? You tweeted, play 90 minutes of touch rugby against some Irish lads at the Olympic Village field. How did that all come about? Weren't you a bit tired to play 90 minutes of touch?
Well, no, you're not tired. You've been waiting around for the last 3 weeks, just saving all your energy for the race, and we're really fit. So after the race is over, you're like still boundless energy. And a lot of people, like, they've been sacrificing not being at a party or do all this other stuff, and that's not something that I'm necessarily interested in doing. But I've sacrificed not being able to have fun and playing all of the other sort of social sports that I've yearned to do over the years, and so that's what I'm really excited to do. And I kicked it off that night, and it was, I guess, literally, excuse the pun, I only play touch, Piney, if you play schoolboy rules where you can kick on the fifth tackle. I hate it when you just have to hand it over on the sixth. There's nothing that annoys me more. So that was the condition I laid out to the athletes out on the field that night.
Well, I'm glad that they accepted your rules and allowed you to play on. Fantastic. Nick, it's been wonderful to watch your career. I'm not going to say congratulations on it because from what I've heard from you there may be more to come. I will, though, congratulate you on another Olympic Games, and thank you very much for your time today.
Hey, thanks so much, Jason. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, talk so, mate. Thanks indeed. Nick Willis there off the back of Olympic Games number 5 for him. What an athlete he has been. And when far younger men and women than him have given up on the 1,500 metres, he's still going. I'm so interested to hear him talk about the marathon there.
Kia ora, Ben Hurley here from the ACC's Mad Monday podcast. If you are a rugby league fan, then make sure you check out the ACC's Mad Monday podcast, available now on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.